If you're over 40, there's one sugar that you might be eating every single day. You probably don't even think about it because it's everywhere. Most people think it's totally safe, maybe even healthy. But what if I told you that this sugar can quietly damage the cartilage in your joints, and it can start happening while you sleep? There's no pain, there's no warning sign. You wake up one morning and suddenly your knees hurt, or your hips feel stiff, or it's hard to go up the stairs. I know this sounds surprising, but as a bone doctor, I've watched so many people go from moving around just fine to limping, using a cane, or even struggling to get out of a chair, all in just a few weeks. And the crazy thing is, it's not from falling down, it's not from working too hard or lifting something heavy. It all starts because of something they thought was good for them. Something they put in their coffee, their cereal, or maybe even their smoothie every morning. I know you might be thinking I'm talking about table sugar, or maybe that sweet syrup people put in their sodas, but it's not. It's not the obvious sugars. It's not high fructose corn syrup either. This sugar is hiding in foods that most people believe are healthy. It's in the snacks you buy for energy, in the drinks that promise vitamins, and even in foods that are marketed for weight loss or good health. That's what makes it so sneaky. People eat it every day and have no idea what it's really doing to their body, especially to their joints. In this video, I want to open your eyes. I'm going to tell you exactly what this sugar is. I'll explain, step by step, how it slowly breaks down the cushion in your joints, the cartilage that helps you walk, run, and live without pain. I'll also show you the top 5 foods where this sugar hides, and most importantly, I'll tell you what you can do tonight to start protecting your joints from more damage. You won't need fancy pills or expensive treatments. Just a few simple changes, starting now, can make a huge difference. Before we get started, I want to hear from you. If you've ever worried about joint pain, or if you already feel stiff sometimes, type yes in the comments right now. If this is your first time hearing about sugar and cartilage damage, type number. And if you want honest, real bone health advice, not just the same old tips, hit the subscribe button now. Let's get started. Your joints will thank you. I've been a bone doctor for more than 20 years. In that time, I've seen thousands of people, men and women, young and old, come to my clinic with bone and joint problems. I've helped people recover after accidents, surgeries, and even sports injuries. But honestly, nothing surprised me more than discovering this new link between a common sugar and cartilage damage. It changed the way I look at everyday foods, and I think it will change the way you look at them too. I understand how hard it is when you or someone you care about starts to lose their ability to move freely. Maybe you've watched a parent or a friend go from being active to suddenly needing help just to get out of a chair. Or maybe you felt that frustration yourself when your knees hurt or your hips feel stiff and it keeps you from doing what you love. I know how scary and lonely that can feel. That's exactly why I'm sharing this with you today. My goal isn't to scare you, it's to give you knowledge and power so you can take back control over your own health and help your family too. Let me share the story of someone who, just like you, wanted to do everything right for their health, but still ran into trouble because of this hidden sugar. Let me introduce you to Linda. She's 62 years old, a retired teacher who always tried to take care of herself. Every morning, Linda would go for a walk around her neighborhood. She liked to eat salads, grilled chicken, and she made sure to avoid soda and most junk food. If you asked anyone, they'd say Linda was doing everything right. But last spring, something changed. She started noticing a dull ache in her knees, especially after her walks. At first, she thought maybe she'd just overdone it, but the pain didn't go away. In fact, within just a few weeks, it got much worse. Soon, Linda found it hard to go up the stairs in her house. Sometimes, even getting out of her favorite chair took extra effort. The pain was slowing her down, and it scared her. Linda started to worry that this was just what happens when you get older. She was afraid she might not be able to keep up with her grandkids or travel like she'd planned. She thought about all the things she might lose: her independence, her hobbies, her freedom to move as she wanted. She went to her doctor, and after some tests and x-rays, she got the news that her cartilage was wearing down quickly. The doctor told her it was just part of aging, but Linda felt deep down that there had to be more to it. That's when she came to see me. We talked about her daily habits, what she ate and drank, and even the little things. Then I asked her about what she put in her tea every morning. She told me she never used sugar, but she always used a natural sweetener she'd read was healthier fructose. She thought it was the smart choice. She had no idea that this one small habit, something she'd done for years, could actually be harming her joints. I remember Linda saying, "I never thought something so innocent could do so much damage." Her story is not unique. There are so many people just like Linda, trying their best, but not realizing how something as simple as a sweetener could hurt their body from the inside out. How can one sugar cause so much harm and so quickly? Let's break it down together and see what's really happening inside the joints. Let's take a moment to understand what's really going on inside your joints. Your joints are like hinges on a door. They help your body bend and move smoothly. But what makes all this possible is a special tissue called cartilage. Cartilage is like a soft cushion between your bones. It lets your knees, hips, and other joints glide easily every time you walk, run, or climb stairs. It also absorbs shock, so you don't feel pain every time your feet hit the ground. The problem is, cartilage is very different from bone. Bone can heal and grow back if it gets hurt, but cartilage doesn't heal easily. Once it starts wearing down, it's very hard for your body to fix it. That's why protecting your cartilage is so important, especially as you get older. Now, let's talk about this sugar that's causing so much trouble. It's called fructose. You might recognize that name from fruit, but the fructose I'm talking about is not just from eating an apple. Fructose is often added to foods as a sweetener. It's in fruit juices, natural sweeteners, agave syrup, honey, flavored yogurts, granola bars, and lots of processed snacks. You'll even see it listed as fructose, fruit sugar, or high fructose corn syrup on labels. People choose these options because they sound healthier than table sugar. But the truth is, our bodies react very differently to concentrated, added fructose compared to the small amount you get from eating a whole fruit. So, how does fructose damage your cartilage? The answer is in how your body handles sugar, especially when you eat more than you need. When you have too much fructose, it creates a chain reaction in your body. First, it causes inflammation. Inflammation is your body's way of fighting off harm, but when it's triggered by the wrong things, like too much sugar, it can actually attack healthy tissues, including the cartilage in your joints. Second, fructose leads to something called oxidative stress. Imagine tiny sparks or rust forming inside your joints. This rust breaks down the soft cartilage, making it thin and rough instead of smooth and slippery. But there's one more thing that makes fructose especially dangerous. It causes something called glycation. Glycation is what happens when sugar molecules stick to proteins in your body, kind of like caramelizing onions in a frying pan. These sticky sugar protein lumps are called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs for short. AGEs build up in your cartilage and make it stiff and brittle instead of soft and flexible. Over time, this makes your joints hurt and move less easily. It's a slow process, but the damage adds up fast, especially if you eat sugary foods day after day. And this isn't just a theory. Recent studies show the real risk. In one big research project, scientists found that people who ate high amounts of fructose had double the risk of cartilage loss in their knees compared to people who ate less, even when both groups ate the same number of calories. This means it's not just about gaining weight. It's about what the sugar does inside your body to the tissues that matter most for movement. You might wonder, why does the damage happen so fast? It's because the inflammation and the sticky AGEs start forming just hours after you eat sugary foods. Most of this process happens while you're sleeping, so you wake up the next day already feeling more stiff or sore. In my clinic, I've seen this happen again and again. People tell me their joints feel worse just a few days after eating a lot of sweet snacks or drinks. When we check their blood, the markers for inflammation and AGEs are higher, even if nothing else in their life has changed. This is why even one small habit, like adding a spoonful of natural sweetener to your tea or coffee, can slowly wear down your cartilage. Over time, that damage adds up until your joints start to hurt every day. But the good news is, if you catch it early and make changes, you can protect your cartilage and keep moving comfortably for years to come. A lot of people think they're doing the right thing by staying away from soda. Maybe you stopped buying regular soft drinks because you know they're full of sugar. But here's the part that surprises most people: just because you don't drink soda doesn't mean you're safe from the kind of sugar that can hurt your joints. This sneaky sugar is hiding in all kinds of foods and drinks that actually sound healthy. Fruit juice is a big one. It looks natural and good for you, but it's packed with fructose. Agave syrup is another one. People use it in place of sugar because they think it's better, but it's very high in fructose too. Even some diet foods, protein bars, or sugar-free snacks still use sweeteners that break down into fructose in your body. Let me ask you a quick question out of these four. Which do you think is worst for your joints? Honey, orange juice, agave syrup, or sports drinks? Write your guess in the comments. I'll tell you the answer in just a bit, and you might be surprised. I want to share a quick story about one of my patients. She was trying so hard to be healthy. She stopped drinking soda completely. Instead, she started buying organic juice and eating granola bars, thinking those were much better choices. But after a few months, she came to me with even more joint pain than before. When we looked closer at what she was eating and drinking, it turned out she was actually getting more fructose than when she was having the occasional soda. So, where is this sugar really hiding? Let's take a closer look at some of the most common foods that might be adding to your risk without you realizing it. Let's look at the top 5 foods that are secretly damaging your joints. These might be in your kitchen right now, and most people don't even realize how much sugar they're getting from them. First on the list is fruit juice. Even if the label says 100% juice or no added sugar, it's still packed with natural fructose. One glass of orange juice can have the same amount of sugar as a can of soda, sometimes even more. The problem is, when you drink juice, you're missing all the fiber from the whole fruit, so the sugar hits your system fast. That's why it can spike inflammation and start damaging your cartilage almost right away. Next is flavored yogurt. A lot of people eat yogurt thinking it's good for their bones, but those little fruit yogurts are often loaded with added sugar. One single serving flavored yogurt can have up to 20 grams of sugar. That's about 5 teaspoons. Sometimes the label will use fancy names like evaporated cane juice or fruit puree, but it's still sugar. Eating this every day adds up and can make joint pain worse without you realizing why. Number 3 is granola bars and cereals. Granola sounds healthy, and bars are quick snacks, but most are sweetened with honey, agave, or even high fructose corn syrup. Some healthy cereals have as much sugar per bowl as dessert. If you check the label and see words like brown rice syrup or fruit juice concentrate, that's just another way to add sugar. These sugars keep your energy up for a little while, but the long-term price is more pain in your knees and hips. The fourth one is salad dressings and sauces. Most people don't even think about sugar when they pour dressing on a salad or add ketchup to a sandwich. But just 2 tablespoons of many dressings can have up to 6 grams of sugar. BBQ sauce, teriyaki, and even light dressings are often sweetened with sugar or fructose-based syrups. It adds up quickly, especially if you use these at every meal. Finally, let's talk about natural sweeteners. Agave syrup and honey are popular because they sound healthier than white sugar, but both are high in fructose. Agave syrup, in fact, can have even more fructose than high fructose corn syrup. Even though they're called natural, your body doesn't care too much, is still too much when it comes to your cartilage and joints. Now, I want you to think for a second. How many of these foods do you eat every week? Type the number in the comments below: 1, 2, maybe all 5. Did any of them surprise you? If you learned something new today, hit the like button so more people can find out about these hidden dangers and protect their joints too. Now, let me share another story that really shows how much these simple habits can change your life. Jim is 58 years old, and he's always been active. He loves cycling and would ride his bike every weekend, sometimes for miles at a time. But a few months ago, Jim started getting pain in his knees. It got so bad that he couldn't ride anymore without discomfort. His doctor told him the next step would probably be getting injections in his knees to deal with the pain. That news really upset him. He'd always tried to stay healthy and thought he was doing everything right. Jim was frustrated and, honestly, he was starting to lose hope. He tried all sorts of supplements and joint pills he saw online, but nothing seemed to help. He even switched to eating healthy snacks, like granola bars and flavored yogurt, thinking those would be better for him. But his pain just wouldn't go away. Finally, we sat down and looked carefully at everything he was eating and drinking. That's when it became clear Jim was still taking in a lot of sugar, mostly from fruit juice at breakfast and the sweetened yogurts he'd have as a snack. I explained how these hidden sugars, especially the fructose, were hurting his joints. Jim decided to make a change. He cut out the fruit juice and switched to plain yogurt with just a little fresh fruit. He paid close attention to labels and avoided foods with added sugar. A few weeks later, Jim came back for a checkup, and the difference was amazing. His knee pain had gone down, and he could ride his bike again without hurting. Even his x-rays showed that the cartilage loss in his knees had stopped getting worse. Jim told me, "I never realized how much sugar I was eating until I tracked it." He was shocked at how fast his body responded just by changing a few habits. So what should you do instead if you want to protect your joints and stay active like Jim? Let's talk about the steps you can take right now to make a real difference. If you want to protect your joints and keep your cartilage healthy, you don't have to give up everything you enjoy, but a few simple changes can make a huge difference. The first step is to get smart about reading labels. Look at the ingredients list on anything you buy. Sugar has many names: fructose, glucose, sucrose, corn syrup, honey, agave, and even words like fruit juice concentrate or evaporated cane juice. If you see any of these in the first few ingredients, that food is probably loaded with sugar. Even if the front of the package says natural or healthy, always check the total sugars and added sugars on the nutrition facts panel. You'll be surprised how much can hide in foods you thought were safe. As for how much sugar is okay, the World Health Organization recommends adults keep added sugars under 25 grams a day. That's about 6 teaspoons. But for your joints, even less is better. Your body doesn't need added sugars at all, and eating less helps your cartilage last longer. If you want a treat, have it earlier in the day with a meal rather than late at night. Eating sugar at night means your body has to deal with the inflammation while you sleep, which is when cartilage repair should be happening. When you're craving something sweet, there are great alternatives. Drink unsweetened tea or coffee instead of sweetened drinks. If you want flavor, add a slice of lemon or some fresh mint to your water. When you want something fruity, eat whole fruits like berries, apples, or pears, but keep it to 1 or 2 servings a day. Whole fruit gives you fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants that help protect your joints, and the sugar hits your body more slowly. Some foods and supplements can help your cartilage too. Omega-3 fatty acids, found in fish like salmon and in walnuts and flaxseed, help fight inflammation. Turmeric is another natural anti-inflammatory. Add a little to soups or rice. Collagen supplements may also support joint health, and leafy greens like spinach or kale are full of nutrients that strengthen your bones and cartilage. Berries are packed with antioxidants that help repair damage and reduce swelling. Let me give you an example of what a joint-friendly breakfast looks like. Try 1 boiled egg for protein, a slice of whole grain toast, half an avocado, and a handful of berries. Drink a glass of water with lemon or a cup of unsweetened tea. This kind of meal gives your body the building blocks it needs to protect your joints all day long without loading you up with sugar. Little changes can add up fast. If you're used to having sweet coffee, sprinkle some cinnamon on top instead of sugar. For dessert, swap out ice cream for frozen berries. Even just one of these swaps can make a real difference over time. What's one swap you could try this week? Share it in the comments. I'd love to hear your ideas and cheer you on. If you already have arthritis or are dealing with joint problems, there are still important things you can do to protect your cartilage and keep moving for life. One of the best things is gentle movement. When you use your joints, even with simple activities like walking, swimming, or cycling, it helps your joints stay lubricated. Think of it like oiling a rusty hinge. When you move, your body makes more fluid that keeps the cartilage smooth and slippery. Even if you have pain, try to do a little bit of movement each day. Stiffness often gets worse when you stop moving completely. Staying hydrated is just as important. Most people don't realize that cartilage is actually about 70% water. If you don't drink enough fluids, your cartilage can get dry and less flexible, which makes it easier to get damaged. Make it a habit to drink water throughout the day. Carry a bottle with you and have a glass of water with every meal. Your joints will thank you for it. Don't forget about sleep. When you sleep, your body works to repair and rebuild tissues, including cartilage. If you aren't getting good sleep, or if you're up and down all night, your joints might not get the time they need to heal. Try to keep a regular sleep schedule and make your bedroom a calm place where you can relax. Even just an extra half hour of rest can make a difference over time. Sometimes, joint pain is more than just normal wear and tear. There are warning signs that mean you should see a doctor or joint specialist. If you notice sudden swelling, your joint gets red or very warm, or you feel your joint locks up and won't bend, don't wait, get help. These can be signs of a bigger problem that needs medical attention right away. If you want me to make a video all about joint-saving exercises or the best supplements for cartilage, type joints in the comments so I know you're interested. And remember, you're not alone in this. Millions of people, just like you, are learning new ways to take care of their joints and stay active at every age. Every small step matters, and together we can keep moving and living well, one day at a time. Remember Linda, the retired teacher I told you about earlier? Today, she's back to taking her morning walks and playing with her grandkids, and she's doing it pain-free. What's really amazing is that she didn't get here by taking a bunch of pills or doing anything extreme. She simply learned about the sugar hiding in her foods and made different choices. She swapped out her sweetened tea for water with lemon, started reading food labels, and chose more real, whole foods over processed snacks. It wasn't always easy, but every small change added up. Now, Linda feels better than she has in years, and she has her freedom back. I want the same thing for you. As a bone doctor, my real goal isn't just to fix broken bones or sore joints. It's to help you keep your independence and stay active and pain-free for as long as possible. You don't have to do everything perfectly, and you don't have to give up every food you love. But you do need to know what's really going into your body and how it can help or hurt your joints. If there's one thing I hope you remember from this, it's that awareness is the best medicine. Every meal you eat, every step you take, and every night's sleep is a new chance to either help your body heal or make things worse without even realizing it. You have the power to make choices that protect your joints and keep you moving, no matter your age. Choose wisely. Take care of your body, and know that even the smallest step in the right direction can change your life. Now, I want to hear from you. Tell me in the comments what's the #1 sugar or sweet food you're going to cut back on this week. Maybe it's fruit juice, flavored yogurt, or those healthy granola bars. I read every comment, and I'd love to know what changes you're making. If this video helped you, please hit the like button so more people can learn how to protect their joints. And don't forget to subscribe for real, science-backed tips that you can trust, not hype, just honest advice to keep you healthy and moving. If you want a free printable guide to hidden sugars and some easy joint-friendly recipes, check out the link below. I made it just for you and your family. And make sure to watch my next video where I'll share the 3 worst breakfast mistakes for your joints. You won't want to miss it. Stay strong, keep moving, and remember, healthy joints mean a healthy, happy life.